We are now on patch 13.14b, and there's a good amount of new comps in the meta. Keep in mind that the last patch, 13.14, was only there for a few days, and we are now on the beat patch. The comps that I mentioned in this video is all the strongest in the meta, and the ones that I already made a full guide on will be in the comments. Invoker Karma is back. The comp have been buffed in the early, mid and late game, and in this comp you always want to play 6 invokers with Karma as the main carry, who you want to 3-star. You can also 3-star units like Lysandra and Soraka, build AP, crit and items like Gunblade on Karma, and do not use mana items due to the Invoker trait. The tank items should go on Taric or Shen, and try to prioritize Sunfire Cape and a Spark, since Sunfire Cape is one of the best early game items, and you want at least one shred item like Spark or Static Shift. Else just build tons of chalice around Karma to make her one shot. So you want to get to level 7 as fast as possible, but there is a few things that you need to know that makes you success over the other players. Before we find Ryze and Ahri, we want to play Zed and Cass. Our level 6 board could look like this, for 4 invokers and 3 Ionias. And you could also change out Zed for another Ionia unit if you don't find him. When we hit level 7, we really want a 1+ on invokers, so we can play this board. But else you play this, and add in the strongest unit you can find. And when we start rolling for Karma 3-star, we can also grab Lysandra and Soraka and go and make them 3-star as well. But only if we get the chance. We will not stay level 7 to get to 3-star as well. Are we heavily contested, we can also consider to go to the full comp without getting Karma to 3-star. And let Ahri be the main carry. Do you get an emblem, you can put it on Ahri, which is really strong. Obviously you want to take out Zed instead of Ahri when you find her, and the same goes for Cass and Ryze. Arguments that we're looking for is Loving Evocation, which is the best one, but else we just want +1 invokers. Legends can almost be anyone, but I will prefer Earth, Ornn or TF. I've already made a full guide on this comp, so if you want to learn it, watch that video, but just keep in mind what I've just said about the comp. Next up we have Aphelios, and there's a good chance that this comp will be the most consistent comp in the patch, due to it's by far the most played comp in Challenger. When playing it, we want to stabilize at level 7 with this board, before going into level 8 for the full comp. Try to make items for Aphelios first, Rageblade +2 damage items, put tank items on Sejuani and bruiser items on Urgot. Ornn will probably be the best legend for this comp, so if you're uncontested in your elo, this is a free climb. I've made a full guide on this comp on my channel, so if you want to learn how to play it, you can watch that video. Next up we have Sorcerer Lux. So the standard for this one is that we go 6 sorcerers with these units. If you have an emblem, you can take out one of the 1-cost units and play a strong frontline. And Sorcerer emblem is great since you get a stronger frontline and you can roll more on level 7. That means, do you get an emblem, you can go for this comp for sure. Play around Swain with Spark early plus Void, and then end up with a Lux carry. Items like Sojourn and Gunblade is super good, but else you can just go for AP damage items. And remember, the last item you will get is from Demacia, which is a Radiant item. Other items should go on Ahri. Mana items is really good on her, and that could be one of your win conditions. Other win conditions could be playing a Vel'Koz comp with sorcerers and multicasters. Here we want to go for Sona and Vel'Koz to 3-star, and then your board would look more like this. For the emblem we can go for Earth, but else we can also use Master Yi or Ornn. Another comp that is back in the meta is Zeri Piltover, and here we want to start off the game with Piltovers. Get it as early as possible and start a lose streak with your T-Hex to 30. That could be 7 losses, and then you want to cash out at the 8th round. We want Last Whisper on Zeri, even over Rageblade, but else you can almost use any AD or attack speed items. If you get Robotic Arm, you can go for Hurricane and Deathblade, but else don't prioritize Deathblade. Best arguments for this one will be Dual Lane Gunners, and Long Distance is great too, when you want Zeri and Urgot buffed. This is the full board, but if you want to cap out the board even more, you can take out Vi and put in Heimer and Sion for CC. But this comp is probably a good idea to take Poro. Next up we have Fast 9, which is the strongest comp in the game. It goes by the name It Pays to Learn, which is named after Azul's last augment. We're playing Aurelion Sol as legend, grabbing all the experience augments, finding ourselves level 8 at 4-1, rolling down and hitting this board. Then we try to swap out the last few units, and when we are stable we can go for level 9, which you are aimed for every single game. Senna is your low-key carry, who shields the whole team and also gain them attack speed, which can stack. You want a Soulstone and a Rage Blade on her to make her cast all the time. Cassandra should be the chosen one from Samira's, and you want to have Protector's Vow plus 2 tank items. You can put your leftover bruiser items on Aatrox and AP items on Gwen, and you also might want to use Gwen as the carry until you hit the final comp. Since the last couple of patches, we have seen more and more different variations of this one. Are you not getting exactly these units? You can also try to play Bel'Veth carry, and you can also play variations where you put your tank items on Sion. Other variations is usually Shen and Gwen plus 5 cost units, or just Shen plus 5 cost units. Next up we have the 3-star Akshan. So this comp is all about getting him to 3-star. Do a roll down at 3-2 to get a direction. We want to roll for him at level 7 with this board. You can also use Shen if you don't hit all the units right away. You want to stabilize at level 7 so you can win some fights and save some health before you're hitting him to 3-star. When you get him to 3-star, go level 8 and play the full comp. When you have all the other units to 2-star, you can go level 9 and add in a 5 cost CC unit. If you get to this point, you have a super strong comp. Play TF or Ezreal for this comp to get the best in slot items. If you avoid using mana components on him and don't play more attack speed than this, he will cast his first spell just as the Freljord trait get active. And that means he does a huge amount of extra damage and often kill a frontline unit. Next we have Azir Strategist. And Azir Strategist is still one of the most played comps, and for a good reason. Before hitting the full comp, you want to do a roll down at level 7 for this board. And when you're stable, you want to go level 8 for the full comp. Put attack speed items on Azir, Rage Blade and Static Shift is the best ones. A mana item and an AP item on Lux. And the last one will be a Radiant item that you get from Demacia. Your tank items should go on Jarvan or Nasus. I've already made a full guide on this comp, so if you want to learn how to play it, go watch the video. The next one we have Noxus Darius, and depending on what the game gives you, you have a few different options. First of all, you always want to play Kled, Swain, Darius and Kata. And from here you want to put in 2 more Noxus units, since we always want 6 in the trade. Choose between Cass, Samira and Sion. Obviously you want to play the 2 1-cost units early before you're hitting Sion in the late game. And from here you have a few different options. You can play Samira with Azir and Nasus, the Slayer option with Aatrox and Zed, and the Rogue option with Echo and Kata. You want to do a huge roll down at 3-2 to hit 6 in the trade. And then you want to get your gold back in and slow roll at level 7. When you're hitting level 7, you want to do it with this comp to hit 3-star Darius and Kata. Since we want a Noxus emblem in this comp, we probably want to go for Earth as our legend, but else we can go for Bard or Poro. We want to make items for Darius first. Bloodthirster, Titans plus 1 damage item. After 2 to 3 items on Darius, we want to put items on Kata. Ionic Spark plus a healing like Hand of Justice plus a damage item. And if we get a Noxus emblem, we can put it on Nasus or Azir to make it easier to roll at level 7. Next we have Ionia Yasuo. When you're playing 6 Ionia, most of the time you want to play around Yasuo carry with a secondary AP carry from the backline. Choose between Karma, Ahri or Kai'Sa, and you should pick the one with the high stars, and if 2 of the units have the same amount of stars, you should pick the one that have the highest cost. That means if all is 1 star, you pick Ahri, and if Karma is 2 star and the others is 1 star, you will pick Karma, and so on. Most of the games you will have Karma and Kai'Sa to 2 star and Ahri to 1 star, and that means Kai'Sa will be the best AP carry. When you go level 7 and want to do a roll down, you want to hit most of the comp, and just go for 6 Ionias instead of 4 challengers. Before you hit Ahri, you can just play Jhin in the backline, and if you get an emblem for Ionia, you can put it on Kalista and put damage item on her as well to make her a secondary carry. You can also do this with Bel'Veth, who is probably the best holder for the emblem. You can also do it with Aatrox or Aphelios, but pick Bel'Veth if you can. You probably want to go for Ezreal, Ornn or Poro. Next we have reroll Kayle, and here we can play some Kench or Lee if we are forcing it. Roll down for Kayle, Maokai and Poppy to 3-star, just like when we played reroll Tristana or any other 1-cost reroll comps. Go for a 5 lose streak just before hitting level 5. Do a big roll down to somewhere between 0 and 30 gold, depending on you're contested or not. Then you slow roll till you hit them all to 3-star. Give Kayle 2 Rage Blades, and the last one will be a Radiant from Demacia. Add in the rest of the comp and let your carry destroy from the backline while Poppy and Maokai tanks the front line. The rest of your board is just to buff up Kayle or CC the other units. Your board could look like this at level 5. This is the board that you roll for 3 stars. Your board at level 6, getting Teemo to upgrade Poppy. Your board at level 8, add more Slayers, and also add in Jarvan instead of Galio. And at 9, put in Aatrox for Slayer, and put in Heimer instead of Teemo. Worth mention is that Kayle also get better when you hit level 6 and 9. The last one we're gonna look at is Void, and we only wanna play this comp if we get the emblem, at least if we wanna win. We play AP plus Sojourn on Kai'Sa, bruiser items on Bel'Veth like Bloodthirster, Titans, and Rapid Fire Cannon, emblem on Yasuo plus 2 items that keep him alive. His job is mainly to CC and do some extra damage. Same items on Rek'Sai as Bel'Veth. If you get her to 3 star, she does do a different as well. Roll down to get the Rift at level 6 if you already have the emblem, or at 7 if you do not. Then push level 8 to get all the units to 2 star, plus getting the Bel'Veth. You want to play Earth for direction, and else you can't really go for this comp. If you get to level 9, you will add in Heimer, Cassandra, or Sion for more CC. That was all the best comps that you should play if you want to rank up. If you could use the video, please make sure to like, and if you want to see more guides like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next guide.